What's up, y'all, man? Today we're gonna be checking out the beginner's guide to the Eurovision contest. And I gotta say, man, this is gonna be fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I had so much fun checking out that Eurovision, like the top songs or whatever. Man, some of those shocked me, okay? Shocked me quite a bit. And some of them actually in my playlist. So now I'm about to actually learn what this whole thing is about, how it works. Let's do it.
The Eurovision Song Contest is a competition where various European, and sometimes not European, countries enter an original song, and then all of the countries vote for the best one, and frankly, it's quite wild.
75 cents? Like 50 cents?
Since its quite conservative beginnings back in the 1950s, the contest has evolved into a colourful display of politics, nonsense, and actually also sometimes some pretty good music. So particularly for the benefit of my mostly non-European viewers, let me introduce you to the weird and wonderful world of the Eurovision Song Contest. Now, particularly in recent decades, the contest has become known for its more eccentric performances. Some just a little quirky,
Hey, man!
some just a bit garish,
Whoa, did he say something to suck on for later? Yo, freaky ass. That saxophone song, I don't know a single word from it. I don't even know if there are words, but I know that by heart.
Well,
We are the winners of Eurovision. We are. Go with it.
Hey, he's going crazy.
but even if the weirder, eye-catching performances are the ones that get a lot of attention, the songs that go on to win the contest are usually a bit more ordinary. Perhaps the most unusual act to ever win the contest was the Finnish hard rock group Lordi in the year 2006. And I'm not saying they were unusual just because of their demonic costumes. Lordi winning the contest was also unusual because they were playing rock music. Rock songs rarely make an appearance at Eurovision, let alone win. The only other rock song that's won the contest was Zitti I Buoni by Italian band Maneskin in 2021.
I mean, that is good, though. I can't lie, that's good.
The sort of songs that typically win the contest will usually have a dash of novelty in their performance, but will generally just be a pretty good, straightforward pop song. Toy by Netta, for example, which won the contest for Israel in 2018, does contain a brief chicken impression. But beyond that, it's a fairly standard and fairly catchy pop song.
Okay, that is catchy.
And also, side note, if you're thinking right now, that song sounds a lot like Seven Nation Army by the White Stripes, well, you're not alone. Universal Records also spotted the likeness, and after threatening legal action, Jack White was credited on the song. So, in a roundabout way, the White Stripes kind of co-wrote a Eurovision winning song. Nowadays, most Eurovision entries, including most winning songs, will tend to be sung in the English language, regardless of which country they're actually representing. But this is a fairly modern trend. For the first couple decades of the contest, every winning song was actually sung in the country's native language. The first winning song not to be sung in the act's native tongue was 1974's Waterloo, sung by Eurovision's greatest success story, ABBA. ABBA aren't the only act, though, to have been launched to international success by Eurovision. In 1988, a French-Canadian singer called Celine Dion represented Switzerland at Eurovision and won.
Killing it too,
Celine Dion was already well known in her home country of Canada as a French language singer, but it wasn't until after winning Eurovision that she started releasing English language music and became the global megastar that she is today. Another now household name to appear at Eurovision before they had quite made it is Olivia Newton-John, who represented the UK in 1974. Much like with Celine Dion, in 1974, Olivia Newton-John was an established singer, but it would still be 4 years before she shot to global fame and starred in the film Grease.
Hey man, she gorgeous too. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. But I will say, I think it is interesting. It's something I didn't think about. I don't know if that's an American thing of mine, but I should have thought about that. A lot of these weren't in their original tongue. You know what I'm saying? And that's something I didn't think about. You know, but now it's kind of something I'm gonna notice because I'm listening to all these. I'm like, yeah, y'all aren't singing in your native language. But I wonder what kind of made that shift so much more popular. I know ABBA probably played a role because they won one year without doing it, but I'm curious.
Now, if you're thinking, wait, how did Canadian Celine Dion represent Switzerland? Well, a Eurovision contestant doesn't have to be from the country that they are representing.
Huh?
For example, American rapper Flo Rida represented San Marino in 2021, alongside Italian singer Senhit. Flo Rida is one of many established artists who made an appearance at Eurovision. Although the song they perform at the contest must be a brand new composition, the performer doesn't have to be some little-known or unknown artist. Many already very well-established artists have appeared at Eurovision, including Cliff Richard, who represented the UK in 1968 and 1973. Congratulations and jubilations, I won the world. And Katrina and the Waves, who were known for their 1980s hit Walking on Sunshine, who won Eurovision for the UK in 1997.
Such a good song. That is
the country to have won Eurovision the most is Ireland. And 3 of those Irish wins are actually thanks to one person, Johnny Logan. Johnny Logan is not only the only performer to have won Eurovision twice, performing Ireland's winning song in both 1980 and 1987, but he also composed Ireland's 1992 winning song. Ireland is also the only country to have won the contest 3 years in a row.
I'm not gonna lie to you. This is not good. I don't know who he is. I'm messing up. Now I feel like I'm missing out. Because I'm like, whoa, yo, he that nice? Like, yo, yeah, he is putting the country on his back, man. Whoa!
Winning Eurovision 92, 93 and 94.
Dang.
In fact, some have speculated that in 1995, Ireland intentionally entered a lackluster song to avoid winning the contest a 4th time in a row.
Oh, man, that's disrespectful to him, man. Come on.
But why would a country not want to win Eurovision? Well, because the winning country has to host the next year's contest. And hosting Eurovision can be a very expensive thing to do. Many speculate that some of the more dreadful acts that have been put forward to Eurovision over the years were intentionally bad because the country didn't want to risk winning and therefore having to host the contest.
Oh, that's crazy.
This is particularly the case for the so-called Big Five. Although the main spectacle of Eurovision is the grand finale, most countries who enter the contest have to first qualify in a semi-final. But the Big Five, France, Germany, the UK, Spain and Italy, automatically qualify for the grand finale due to these countries' large monetary contribution to the running of the contest.
Wow.
This means that if one of those Big Five don't want the hassle and expense of hosting Eurovision next year, they might intentionally enter a mediocre song. Now, the system by which countries are voted for has changed over the years, but is generally some sort of mix of a professional jury and votes from the general public.
Now, why don't they just not enter a song at all? You can't just say I don't want to enter or forfeit and just say I don't want to do it, because that's kind of like, yo, that can make the artist feel kind of rough. It's like, I'm going to throw you out there even though your song is butt. I feel like that probably hurt a little bit.
The rules and structure of Eurovision have changed many times during the contest's almost 70-year history. An interesting example of the rules having to change, actually, was after the 1969 Eurovision, where 4 different countries, the UK, Spain, the Netherlands and France, all won the contest. They were all joint winners of Eurovision. This is because they all scored the same amount of points and no tiebreaker rule had been introduced to the contest yet. Needless to say, the next year a tiebreaker rule was introduced. Now, getting over 30 different countries to all compete against each other in a song contest is going to result in some politics. Of course, it's well known that certain countries will always vote favourably for their close allies. For example, Greece and Cyprus always vote for each other, and the UK and Ireland often swap votes. But more notably, in years where Eurovision takes place against more politically charged world events, you can often see those events reflected in the voting. For example, last year, Ukraine won Eurovision. And although their song was good, and Ukraine have won the contest before, it's probably not a coincidence that they won in the year 2022. Likewise, the first Eurovision Song Contest that took place after Brexit had completed, which was 2021, the UK scored the dreaded nil points.
And the United Kingdom gets from the public 0 points.
Of course, it can be hard to tell conclusively how much politics is really influencing the voting. Maybe the UK's entry that year just wasn't very good.
Sometimes I know my fire burns low, but as long as you with me.
Okay, that's not.
For
It's
example,
not
when
good,
the UK
but
got nil points in 2003, some cited
Zero?
the UK's recent and controversial joint invasion of Iraq as the reason that the UK had received no points. But also that year, the UK's entry did sound like this.
I mean, her legs look good though. 0 points for that.
So maybe it's not all about
I ain't
politics.
trying to hear that, man. Listen, she get a point for the legs, man. You know how? Listen, she be in the gym. You know, I know that because I be in there. I see it. You know what I'm saying? So she should have got some points for at least that.
Eurovision performances have often been used as a platform for raising awareness and visibility of issues and causes. Perhaps most notably, Eurovision has increasingly become a fantastic champion of LGBT plus pride. Various openly LGBT acts have appeared at
Like the
Eurovision.
Tin Man.
For example, drag queen Conchita Wurst won the 2014 contest for Austria.
Yeah, I was asking about that, man, because I was unsure. But he kind of explained
that
it now.
is Eurovision, a unique intersection between geopolitics and music, and one that never fails to surprise and entertain. Of course, after winning last year's contest, by all rights, Ukraine should be hosting the competition this year. But due to the current situation, last year's runner-up, the UK, is hosting it instead, and it's actually happening next week in Liverpool. So let me know in the comments who you
this
think
video's
is going
a
to
little
win
older,
this year.
so you know, now it's pretty much over. You know, but I will say I don't know who's won the last few years, you know, for an up-to-date version. I just wanted to learn about it. And this video did a great job of helping me understand, you know, what this whole thing about, how it goes. I mean, and I even like that he touched on the whole politics behind it, you know, because anything you do with multiple countries, really multiple people, eventually will have some kind of politics to it, you know, and then at this scale, of course. But I do think the concept is genius. I think it's awesome. And I think it does allow some people who aren't as well known to get some shine, man. So it's pretty cool, man. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like. As always, I love y'all. Peace.